Man, hotep everybody. This your brother Matthew Daniels, aka I'm Pooh, aka the Chosen Few, aka the Real Bookworm. I'm not a bookworm, I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. Man, family, I remember one time I left my apartment and I was walking to the store, the corner store, to get a cup of coffee early in the morning. And that early morning walk to the corner store to get a cup of coffee, some kind of way ended up with me surrounded by about 3 police cars and at least 5 officers. One officer, in the middle of our conversations, put her hand on her gun twice, right? I ended up surrounded by these cops with my hands on the hood of the police car. Now listen, I left my house in the morning to walk to the corner store to get a cup of coffee. This trip to get a cup of coffee ended with my hands on the hood of a police car, surrounded by officers, and one officer repeatedly putting her hand on her gun. Crazy, man. It's crazy that an individual who is supposed to be protected and serving or whatever, supposed to be have a honorable job, would treat a person like that. But I realize that they treat people like that because they feel like they can get away with it. They feel like they can do anything that they want to do to you. And because they're the police, they can get away with it. There's nothing that you can do about it. And in a lot of instances, it is difficult to do something about it. It's obvious. We all know that. It's difficult. But sometimes, fate shines on you. And you get your opportunity. Telling y'all, man, listen. Big Game Hunting by Matthew Daniels on Amazon. It's fast. It's quickly becoming Texas City's dirty little secret. I can see the analytics on book sales because the book is self-published, right? Now, I don't know who's buying it or where it's going. I don't have nothing to do with none of that. But I can tell when books are bought and how many books are bought. I can see the books are going out. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Now that this thing is gaining traction, not only around the country and in other parts of the world, but right here in Texas City, now we're kicking up enough dust to make individuals right here check it out. See what all the ruckus is about. People that may be mentioned in the book that we've said are mentioned in the book. People who know the people that are mentioned in the book. And I'm going to assume that there are people, because see, a lot of people are telling us that they're buying the book. But then there's books that's going on and nobody's saying nothing. And just call me a conspiracy theorist, right? But I'm starting to believe that some people are getting the book and they don't want nobody to know that they're getting the book to read the book, which is okay. I'm not saying don't get the book. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell nobody. You ain't got to post about it. But Big Game Hunting is becoming Texas City's dirty little secret, man. That's real talk. They getting it. They reading it. They want to see what's in it. And when they see what's in it, I don't get the questions that I normally get. People, they automatically understand. Right? They automatically understand. Real quick. I'm finna tap out here in a second. But I just want to show you guys something. In this section of the book, right? I quote a newspaper article. And this news article, rather, not a newspaper article, I got it online. But this news article is talking about the Texas City Police Department. March 4th, 2013. There is unrest in the Texas City Police Department, and according to at least half the officers below the command level, the morale is low. There is perceived favoritism by commanders. The loss of manpower on the streets is placing the officers and the public in danger. And there are excessive and unnecessary internal investigations of officers. Morale is low. Perceived favoritism by commanders. Excess and unnecessary internal affairs of investigations. Unrest in the Texas City Police Department. Now, in the book Big Game Hunting, I give you what this looked like on the ground, in the streets. It was certain things that we were talking about that was taking place in the streets with the police. And this is why. I'm going to hit y'all with a couple of quotes. And then I'm going to let y'all go. But y'all need to get that book, man. Now, an investigation was conducted by the, on the Texas City Police Department. An investigation was conducted that sought to find out what the climate inside of the department was, because it was a lot of drama, and they was going to try to pinpoint some things and get some solutions, fix some stuff. So in this article, when they were investigating up at the Texas City Police Department, officers themselves were allowed to make comments in a survey. Now, I want y'all to listen to what the Texas City Police are saying about the Texas City Police while the events described in Big Game Hunting are taking place. Think about what I just said. One of them wrote, "I am scared to do my job because our administration, the chief, Captain Stanton, Captain Clemens, and Sergeant Pope are vindictive and retaliate against those that have differences of opinions against their views. They play favoritism, and the narc/fit team can do no wrong. They are a protected class, which creates a lot of animosity from the other rank and file members of the department." Now, if a police officer is saying that the command level within the department, they are vindictive and retaliate against those that have differences of opinions against their views, we have to ask a very serious question. First, am I telling the truth? Am I telling the truth quoting this information? Now, once we establish that I'm telling the truth quoting this information, we have to ask some serious questions about a command that's vindictive and retaliate against those that have differences of opinions against their views. Because I'm saying, now, this cop is complaining on them about that. So do you believe the cop? And if you believe the cop, well, guess what? When you read the book, you're going to see that, hey, I have a few grievances I feel like I was retaliated against in certain instances. And there are plenty of members of the community who feel retaliated against. So do cops retaliate? Are cops vindictive or not? Don't ask me, ask the cop who said it. They play favoritism, the cop said. And the narc-fit team can do no wrong. They are a protected class. If I say it, you're going to have a problem with it. But what if I quote a cop saying it? Now, is it a lie? And if it's the truth, they need to be held accountable for their crimes. If the cop is lying on the other cop, the liar need to be held accountable for their crimes. See, at the end of this road, family, it means the same thing for the citizen. That there was a problem, and there is a problem within the Texas City Police Department. And while this problem was festering, the events described in Big Game Hunting about the life of me and my brother Joshua Daniels, aka Core Figure King Y, were taking place. But people would think we lying about what we were saying about the police. So I came on the back end with the book and I say, okay, I'll show you the cops saying the same thing that we were saying. And once we deal with that, once they answer the question, is this book telling the truth? Then we're going to move forward. Right? Another said, I've been a police officer for over 20 years now. And I have never seen the morale at this place so low. It's seriously in a crisis mode here. So you have a police department admitting that their police department is in crisis mode and morale is low. And these officers with the low morale and that are in crisis mode are going out into the streets. And you have officers complaining about how these officers are conducting themselves in the streets. Then you have citizens complaining about how these officers are conducting themselves in the streets. So I want to have a conversation about how these officers were conducting themselves in the streets. I for sure want to talk about how it affected my life. I want to talk about how it affected my brother's life and anybody else. Feel free. It's the alley-oop. Feel free to express your grievances, right? Still, another officer commented, I think the black officers are not treated the same as the white officers. If a black officer does the same policy violation as a white officer, then the black officer will receive a write-up and or suspension, while the white officer will most likely receive a verbal warning. So you have a cop, a Tech City cop, talking about the Tech City Police Department, saying that blacks are treated worse than whites basically because they are black. Aha. So if a citizen says that they're treated a certain way just because they're black, you won't listen, will you? But what if you listen if a Tech City cop says it? I'm telling y'all, this has become or is becoming Texas City's dirty little secret. People are reading this book. And I'm from Tech City. Once you listen, you don't understand, you might not understand. But once you read the book, it's not a hustle. It's not a game. But before we had a book to sell, we were doing the things we talk about doing in the book. So we were doing these things with no book. The book is just to show you guys what we're talking about. And because nobody believed us, they thought we were crazy and troublemakers and rabble rousers and we would be dead or in jail soon. I said, okay, let me go back in the lab and let me just show you the cops saying the same things about cops. Now, is this true? You see, you're not really dealing with Ampoule. You get, now that y'all reading the book, you get it. You see why I keep saying, tell me I'm lying, tell me I'm lying, tell me I'm lying, tell me I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. I don't care, because once you tell me I'm lying, I'm going to say, hey, we need to find the officer who said this, the lying officer. And if that officer isn't lying, y'all see where this is going, fam. You gotta see where this is going, man. You gotta see where this is going. It's some more juice in that, but I'm going to leave that. Due to the fact, hold on, no. I personally feel as if the NARC team should be disbanded and placed back on patrol. Wow. So this elite team, this fit team, this NARC team, cops are saying it needs to be disbanded. I wonder if any citizens are on record saying that it needs to be disbanded. I wonder if any citizens are on record saying that it needs to be disbanded. See, listen, sometimes people, they let the loud voice confuse them. No. I'm a thinking individual. I think. So all I do is think. You feel me? All I do is think. Did anybody else complain about this stuff? Huh? Chapter 13, Big Game Hunting. Police Chief Robert Burby is forced to submit. Look at the title of this. That's your boy in the newspaper. Now check out what the caption says. Matthew Ampoule Daniels addresses tensions between law enforcement officers and young black men Wednesday during the West End Ministers and Leaders Breakfast hosted by the Texas City Police Department at the Texas City Museum. There was no book to sell then. I wasn't putting in no work to sell a book. You get what I'm saying? But I'm there addressing the tensions between the cops and the community. I respect everybody work if they putting in work. I respect it. But what I'm saying is, at some point, it would just be nice if the people in your own area respected the work. Now, I'm not saying we and my brother, we the only ones that ever did anything. Nobody else. But we telling our story. We got every right to tell our story. If you got a story, tell your story. I'm not gonna knock it. But I'm saying the book, I don't know if y'all know, y'all haven't read the book. Just read the book. You're gonna understand what's putting it on the line. And I'm talking about when we did that. Man, listen, there have been threats on our lives and stuff. People talking about, hey, some people are mad that I wrote a book. They mad that I wrote a book. But what about when my life has been put in danger by some of these cops? Huh? What about the death threats that some of these lunatics done made out here? What about that? But I guess that don't matter because nobody know about it because they not even gonna take the time to read the book because they don't care. But one thing for sure, I know about it. My brother know about it. We know what happened. Nope, you wouldn't listen. So now we double back on the back end. Now y'all saying it. Is it true or is it not true? You see what I'm saying? Is it true or is it not true? What were we talking about when we were in that meeting? Were we talking about some of the same stuff that y'all confessing to in that article? Huh? Or y'all the same stuff y'all confessing about? Marching on Tech City PD because numbers don't lie. Because this is the last thing I'm gonna read, man. And then I'm gonna let it go. Put this in the newspaper. We put them on notice, man. And y'all don't understand the kind of flack we got for this type of stuff. Y'all just don't understand how these cops really tried to treat us, what they really tried to do to us. Y'all don't understand how close it came. Y'all don't get it, and you're not gonna read the book. But for the people that will. You feel me? I say, and I'm just going to skip. I say these numbers have led, and it's just part of the article. You want to read the whole article, get the book. These numbers, and this is something that I submitted to the Galveston County Daily News on behalf of me and my brother for the march that we led. I wrote a story to be ran in the newspaper because they wanted to try to cover up what happened. And so we put them on record where we stood. Now, before it was a book, before anybody was trying to sell a book, before I even wrote a book, this is what we were doing, and this is what we told them. We put them on notice, and you don't understand how they felt about that. These numbers have led the people of Texas City to lose faith in their local justice system. It has led to a sense of hopelessness in our community that is magnified by economic inequality. We watch police abuse us, harass us, charge us with fictitious crimes, and sit idly by while we lay dying on the floors of their jails. All the while, no one is willing to come to our aid. Enough is enough. The Nation of Liberation, founded by my brother Joshua Daniels and myself, has decided to answer the call. We have organized a series of rallies, protests, and marches aimed at key locations throughout the city in an effort to get our local city officials to take this dire situation seriously. Our first protest was August 24th, and we marched from City Hall all the way down to the TCPD station. Our goal was to speak with local law enforcement about some of their unjust and racially motivated tactics, but unfortunately, no representatives was willing to come out and speak with us. You think this the first time they tried to ignore us? You think we flying off the handle because this the first time they tried to ignore us? Don't trust these people, man. Don't trust them. Do not trust them. Which consequently has now led to more of our community feeling as if no one cares about them or their plight. Galveston County, no longer will the community sit by and watch unjust police, city officials, and business owners lock us up for nothing, pass laws and ordinances that we do not agree with, and make millions in our community without giving back a portion of those profits. We demand jobs for our families and justice for those harassed by cops. And that was in 2014. We put them on notice. Do you think they like? Listen, Chief Argon of Lamarck. The chief of Lamarck right now was the chief of Lamarck when we put them on notice that it was going to be revolution for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for how they was treating the community. These same cops with this low morale, they confessing. I made them confess, man. All you got to do is read the book. I made them confess. But y'all won't even do that. They confessed already. Now, I want anybody I named in the book to just come out and tell me I'm lying. And once we establish that you can't tell me I'm lying, now we got to have a further conversation because I haven't forgot. But what I'm saying is, you had Chief Argon and Lamarck, right? He'd have a whole meeting with my brother and tell him take those videos down. He told him they didn't like the march. He said it out of his own mouth. So do you think I trust these people? No, I don't trust them, man. No, I don't trust them. I just got enough heart. See, y'all think that, I don't know. I don't know what anybody think. I'm going to just dial it back a bit. I don't know what anybody think. But at least do me a favor. Read the book. See what I'm saying took place. And then make your final decision. Because I'm going to tell you something. We've been on a bumper, family. We've been on a bumper. We've been on this level since 2010. On this level since 2010. This is just a tool that we are now using in something that has been going on since 2010. And this is just the easiest way to explain it to the masses of people. So if you get it, you get caught up to speed, you understand exactly what we're up against, and then you make your decision. Big game hunting. Texas City's dirty little secret. They're getting it. They're reading it. They're starting to see what y'all did. And we just getting started, baby. We're going to move the conversation forward once you answer, is Big Game Hunting by Matthew Daniels true? Yes or no? That's all I need. The part about you, anybody that's in it, just the part about you, is it true or am I a filthy, slanderous, defaming, we can't say coward because I'm not a coward, liar.